Either we are there or not, ITSPmagazine still gets the best stories. There are plenty of conferences and all sorts of events that spark our curiosity and allow us to start conversations with some of the world's brightest minds. In person or virtually, we sit down with them at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Together, we discover what the synergy of these three elements means for the future of humanity. Knowledge is power, now more than ever. CrowdSec, the collaborative and open source cybersecurity solution. Analyze behaviors, respond to attacks, and share signals across the community for free. Let's make the internet safer together. Learn more at crowdsec.net.
EdgeScan offers continuous vulnerability intelligence as a service, accurately identifying vulnerabilities and exposures across the full stack. All threats are verified by cybersecurity experts, providing exploitable risk and remediation guidance, virtually false positive free. Learn more at edgescan.com.
Pantera, the leader in automation security validation, allows organizations to continuously test the integrity of all cybersecurity layers by emulating real-world attacks at scale to pinpoint the exploitable vulnerabilities and prioritize remediation towards business impact. Learn more at www.pantera.io.
And here we are live. It's Black Hat, the tail end of Black Hat, and super thrilled to have Tracy Maleeff on. Thanks, Tracy, for joining us. Many of you probably know her as InfoSec Sherpa.
Hi, no, thank you so much for having me. And oh yeah, it is like a bar at 2 a.m. It is, they don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. It is right. Clearing out. It is clearing out. Yep.
Nice. And hopefully a good experience at the bar, new friends, and yes, so I won't take that analogy too far, but a good week for you?
Yeah, so far I committed myself, or I should say overcommitted myself to speaking 6 times this week. 6.
Wow.
So
Can
I
you
had
list
2.
them?
Sure. Well, I spoke twice on Wednesday. That was yesterday. Time has no meaning or consequence here right. in Las Vegas, especially during Hacker Summer Camp. For B-Sides Las Vegas, Wednesday morning, I gave a talk called Long Overdue, How to Improve InfoSec Through Library Science. That was in the ground truth track, and I thought that went well. That nice. Was, in my mind, like my headliner talk, my big talk of the week. Later that afternoon, I was on a panel about hiring in cybersecurity for the Diana Initiative, and that's one of my favorite conferences. I love that one. And then my 4 left. I have tomorrow, which is Friday, in Recon Village. They're all DEF CON Village talks. So Recon Village, I'm speaking at noon. And the title of that talk is Not All Who Wander Are Lost, using OSINT for a more fulfilling travel experience. Because once upon a time, I was a travel agent. So I'm going to be sharing some stories, and just between my own wanderlust travel industry experience and my OSINT skills, just kind of sharing ways that you can, improve travel or just enjoying travel from your home. Since, some people are still reluctant to travel because of the state of the world, which is fine, but there's so many ways you can still enjoy the world through OSINT from home or in person. I'm also speaking at the Blue Team Village. And then on Saturday, I'm speaking twice at the Girls Hack Village, which is brought to you by the Black Girls Hack Group. My main talk is basically sort of an OSINT news organization, or I should say organization of news, basically how to stay afloat in a tsunami of security information. And then later I'm doing a panel as well about diversity in cybersecurity, which is something I'm passionate about as an advocate for. So then I'm going to the Centurion Club and going home after that.
There you go. Back to grab a comfy seat and a drink to
Yeah.
to wrap it all up. Well, I'm super impressed as always, Tracy, with the work that you do, and I mean the topics that you're talking about and the information that you're sharing. Uh, I mean, those are real hardcore topics, right? And I guess what I'm really trying to say is you lead by example.
Well, thank you.
And yeah.
I mean, I do get concerned that people are going to get tired of hearing me talk about library science, so I don't want to overstay my welcome. But I feel like this new angle that I'm presenting of using things like the 5 laws of library science and correlating them to information security is really helpful. I won't say which company, but the security team of a certain company attended my talk and chatted with me afterwards and said they were really excited to actually implement some of the things I mentioned in my talk, and that made it all worthwhile.
And that's the thing. I mean, obviously we've spoken with you about this that topic in particular, and unfortunately not everybody gets to hear it, right? So and there are new people that join the industry all the time, and perhaps hearing it a second or third time or presented in a different way, in a different context or different mindset, you might even take things away that you didn't previously when you hear it. So I say keep going. Keep going. Clearly, and your proof is in the pudding. You had positive feedback on that today.
Yeah.
So what about the rest of, so I don't know if you had time to think outside of what you had to present and being quote unquote on during those times, but anything else strike you as interesting from the Black Hat perspective?
Sure. Unfortunately, because of my busy schedule, I only was able to make it to Black Hat this afternoon. And I primarily was just hanging out in the business hall, but I do look forward to catching up on the talks later, including the talk by one of my bosses, Chris Krebs, who gave the keynote Wednesday morning. Because of the timing of my B-Sides talk, it conflicted with his keynote. But because I am an employee of the Krebs-Stamos group, we as a firm did get a little bit of a sneak peek of some of his talk, and what he ended with, people going forward. What he wanted people to go forward with, the takeaways, is what he shared with us. So I really hope that talk resonated with people. And the quote of his that I kept seeing the most on Twitter was, life is too short to work for a-holes. And, yes. I have to imagine that went over well with this crowd. But no, it's true. And, enjoying what you do. Which I do with the Krebs-Stamos group is great. So I just think that Chris was a great person to give that keynote, because he can really reflect on the past few years. And his talk was about, Black Hat at 25, where do we go from here? So I just think he was a perfect selection for a keynote because of his experience to really reflect on, what he went through, especially with election security, and what's on the horizon, which is going to be even more election security and geopolitical concerns. So yeah, and it was nice to see photos that my colleagues were there in the front row cheering him on. So yeah, they were filling me in. They knew that I had conflicting talk, and yes. Did say they felt bad that nobody was there to support me. But no, it's fine. I know that he's the named partner. He gets the people at his talk. That's fine.
you spread the wealth around, and the folks that got to see you were in a treat.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And I think my talk was recorded, so my colleagues can watch it later. Nice. But yeah, basically I spent most of my time in the business hall here, which I always advocate for, because a lot of people think vendor hall and roll their eyes and all, but especially if you're new to this industry, an exhibit hall, or as they call it here, the business hall, is going to be really crucial to the foundation of your industry education. You need to know who the players are in this space. You need to know what solutions they offer, because how can you problem solve if you don't know what tools are out there to fix it? So I really stress the importance of going to the vendor halls, talking to the folks, seeing the demonstrations, yes, and you get some T-shirts and popcorn along the way, for free.
And coffee and pastries, I hear as well, were a big hit.
Yeah, there was there was a candy booth. There was all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, I just think that the vendor halls get a bad rap. And I did post a tweet before I left for Las Vegas, reminding people, it's totally okay just to be upfront and say, I don't have any purchasing or influencing power. But what's not okay is being rude to these marketing folks. I think it's a little obnoxious personally to wear a T-shirt that says, no purchasing power. The marketing folks here, they're just doing their jobs, right? I get it.
Well, that goes back to the no asshole rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I fully support.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, yeah, you're going to get a lot of email afterwards. And, you just have to tell, if you have someone who's persistently following up with you, a lot of these sales reps have links in their email. Don't want me to contact you anymore, unsubscribe. So unsubscribe, or if they don't offer that, just reply and just be nice about it. So I wanted to stress that because I do feel bad when people are rude to the marketing folks. They're just doing their jobs. It's there's no need to be rude to them. But also, on the flip side, I had the experience of going to a vendor booth of a vendor that we use. And I was able to give them, feedback. And while I was there, I actually learned about something brand new that dropped this week, that I hadn't heard about. And, I was able to give them feedback, and it just, it was just great to connect with them. So, they got to know me, which will, your relationship building, and even if you don't have that company as a vendor, you're still relationship building. We are kind of a small industry compared to some other industries. People talk. So if you're just starting out in your industry and you all of a sudden get a reputation for being really rude to all the sales reps you go around and talk to, that's not great. And who knows, one day that may be the account manager. Maybe your company does go with a company, and all of a sudden the account manager is the person you were rude to. How do you think that's going to go over?
There's always a fun give and take and yin and yang with that. And I want to stick with this for a moment because you forget who's doing what and saying what and all that. Just for a moment, realize that IT operations and technology is so vast that it's impossible for anyone to know everything, right? And let alone keep up with everything new. And I think what the vendor hall provides, from my perspective, is, and if you can cut through the marketing stuff, a sense of where perhaps the next big risks might lie, right? If there's a hardware security vendor there, they probably have some insight that may not be high on your list now, but if they're investing in researching it, then perhaps you at least better understand what the risk is, so you can either mitigate it or control it.
Yeah, and get on their newsletters, and I think every email system has some sort of forwarding system. So set up a folder for that vendor or all vendors, and then go to it on demand when you want to. So yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world that you get on a mailing list, for a vendor, because you might learn something new. They might be doing research, and you might be, have an opportunity in your organization to be an influencer. Maybe you picked up something, some knowledge, and later in a couple months you find out that you're in a meeting of, well, how do we solve this problem? And you can say, oh, I remember this vendor that I spoke to, and I get their emails now. You never know when you're going to get this information. So it's just another tool in your tool set, really.
Yep. So, I think knowledge is power from my perspective. So the more you can gain in whatever form, go for it. Soak up as much as you can. Was there a moment, Tracy, not just at Black Hat, but anywhere you've been this week, that I don't know if moved is too strong, but anything that that kind of make you take a step back and go, wow, that was a moment?
Honestly, I have to say, without sounding too sappy, I feel like I noticed a noticeable change uh, in the diversity of attendees for Black Hat, and besides, and that made me really happy. I want, and I'm also, I think DEF CON is going to be as well, because, for example, I'm participating in the Girls Hack Village, which is part of the Black Girls Hack group. So to be able to walk into the Black Girl or the Girls Hack Village room at the Flamingo, and just see all these Black cybersecurity professionals in one room is just really heartwarming to me. And that's what I advocate strongly for and feel strongly about, is that we need more diversity in our community and industry. So that was really my heartwarming moment that you're describing. Is I noticed that going around Black Hat, and no, it made me feel great. I was like, oh yes, we're getting there. We're not fully there yet, but we're getting there. And I definitely noticed a difference from when I last attended in 2017. So I was thrilled about that.
I love that. And I know we have an episode published on, I think Tanisha Martin was part of it.
Yeah. Oh, love her. Yeah.
Yes. So I encourage everybody to listen to that for the full thing. But can you give us a brief snippet of what's going on at the Girls Hack Village?
Oh, Girls Hack Village. Oh, well, they're doing a series of talks. I'm afraid I don't know the full rundown.
That's okay.
But I am on their schedule twice. So it's the things that I mentioned previously. It's a panel about diversity and cybersecurity. About initiatives, what people are doing, what we can do. I'm there to provide the point of view of the ally, and someone who's very active and passionate about this. Just regular InfoSec talks. I'm sure there's going to be lock picking, a bunch of the hacker type dudes were sitting around a table already getting the laptops together. I think they are doing a CTF. I'm not sure. But also the Black in Cybersecurity group, they have their own village with a CTF and a lot of technical talks going on. Just kind of your run of the mill, village offerings, but just kind of safe space for some folks, and just more, opportunities to showcase diversity.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was looking for, and I didn't want to say it. I wanted to hear it, that it's a safe place to do real stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
To have these CTFs, to have the block picking, to have the research, to have the conversations, to all of that all the villages have. Those villages get it as well. Just fantastic.
Yeah. So, security is for all, tech is for all, and what I say this over and over again: diversity of thought solves problems. We all have different threat models, and if we all come to the table to help solve these problems, we all look at them differently, and that's what's going to solve these problems is having a wide range of different threat models looking at these problems. So I'm just going to keep beating that drum, and just keep being an advocate. And actually another heartwarming moment was I received an award today. Someone from the Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria came here from the UK and brought with him, bless him, a physical award. I actually tweeted it earlier. It was an award of appreciation, recognition for speaking at their events and the advocacy I do for them. So that was very heartwarming, and we took a photo and everything. And so I'm thrilled to have this award, and I can't wait to get it home and put it on my shelf behind me. Nice. And so this was just a magical moment when I realized that I was going to be able to meet him in person here, and then to find out that he had an award for me. That was amazing. So this was great.
Well deserved, Tracy. Well deserved.
Thank you.
As we wrap here, maybe a final thought from you. Is there something that kind of gives you hope for the future? Was there a direction of a talk? Could be operational, technical, human elements, I don't know, government policy, anything stand out to you?
Well,
Because we're on the
I
right
just think
track.
what makes me hopeful is just that there are so many professionals willing to spend their time and energy speaking about this. Um, that's what's really heartwarming is, because you have a lot of people now, obviously some speakers are more motivated than others because maybe their company makes a product that solves a problem. But I'm putting that aside because that's different. I'm talking about, the individuals who are just passionate. Like Alan Friedman is always talking about, S-bomb all the time to anyone, and anywhere, and, looks amazing wearing his shiny jacket as he does it, and his fabulous hair. But yeah, no, it's just that dedication to see so many passionate professionals willing to share knowledge and really be hopeful for the future. I think is the biggest takeaway from this is that, there are caring and passionate professionals who want to make things better. And, we just, we go further together. So we just need more people to step up and speak and share their knowledge and be as passionate and caring as the people have come before us.
Yep. Cheers to that, Tracy. Cheers to that. Well, listen, I'm gonna close it here. I'm gonna thank you for being persistent and finding us for this conversation. I'm glad we were able to make it happen. And best to you, to Chris, Alex, the rest of the crew there on your team. And I'll have to look at it. I think I saw a post that has a link to your blog that has all your talks. And if you have four more to go, I'm going to include that in the show notes for everybody for this.
Okay, thank you.
So they can track you down, say hello, listen to you, participate, and be part of all the fun at what's now DEF CON as it transitions over. So.
Yes, we have the DEF CON moon rising over here. So thank you so much for having me. And I hope this was helpful. And yes, I do have a Linktree account, which is on my Twitter. InfoSec Sherpa is the easiest way to get a hold of me. And you'll see my Linktree there where I post my talks, and I'll be updating it after I get back from Vegas with my newest talks.
Nice. Well, fantastic work, Tracy. Thanks again. Have a good evening. And everybody listening, we're going to sign off for this evening as we, as I said, transition over to DEF CON. We have more chats tomorrow, including some of the villages. We're going to live stream from some of the villages. So,
fantastic.
Super excited about that. And all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Tracy.
All right. Thanks. All right. Go Eagles. Bye.
Pantera, the leader in automation security validation, allows organizations to continuously test the integrity of all cybersecurity layers by emulating real-world attacks at scale to pinpoint the exploitable vulnerabilities and prioritize remediation towards business impact. Learn more at www.pantera.io.
EdgeScan offers continuous vulnerability intelligence as a service, accurately identifying vulnerabilities and exposures across the full stack. All threats are verified by cybersecurity experts, providing exploitable risk and remediation guidance, virtually false positive free. Learn more at edgescan.com.
CrowdSec, the collaborative and open source cybersecurity solution. Analyze behaviors, respond to attacks, and share signals across the community for free. Let's make the internet safer together. Learn more at crowdsec.net. We hope you enjoyed this episode of our on-location conversation. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share ITSPmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.